Welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm giving my immediate reaction to Rafael Nadal winning his 13th French Open title and 20th Grand Slam to level with Roger Federer. I said on Twitter straight after the match, as a Djokovic fan, sometimes in sport you just have to accept that he was second best, and today we saw an absolute genius in Rafael Nadal play at his absolute best and ultimately just outclassed Djokovic from start to finish, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Rafa's a player that's dominated the clay court scene for the last 15 years, and today showed exactly why he's done that. He had just one prep event leading up to this tournament after the 6-month break, and he still won this title without dropping a set and beating Novak Djokovic in the final in straight sets, who has looked more or less unbeatable this year. You can't take anything away from Rafa. He fully deserves the title, and the praise that will all come his way. Just an incredible champion who continues to break records and defy the odds year upon year, and yeah, every bit of credit to Rafa. Unbelievable performance today, fantastic throughout the tournament and fully deserving of his title. So just a little bit about the match. Pre-match the roof was closed due to the rain, which wasn't forecast, and I didn't think it would make a massive difference to either player. I thought mentally it might favour Djokovic, but on the court we know both players are in fantastic condition and have played in all different weathers throughout the years. I didn't think it would make much difference to either player. In set one, Djokovic served very poorly, especially in the opening couple of games. He was trying to use the drop shot, but Nadal read it. He was quick up off the baseline, and Djokovic didn't have loads of success with the drop shot as he has done in previous rounds. Nadal from ball one was just relentless. I talked about the forehand, and everybody talks about the Rafa forehand, but I think the double hander of Rafa is a shot that goes under the radar. You know, the consistency, the angles, the aggression that he finds is just quite incredible. I mean, Djokovic did not play a bad match in my opinion. A lot of people were critical of Djokovic's performance, but to be honest, I don't think Djokovic could have played much better in patches. I thought he was, very, very good, but Rafa was just better. Rafa's got that extra level and just flawless. Nobody can live with Rafa when he's at his best on clay, and he was today. As I said, Djokovic was finding angles across court with the forehand, but Nadal's double hander was coming back twice as hard with an even tighter angle. It was just unstoppable from ball one. Nadal won all the big points in the opening set, defended a few break points I believe in the opening set with aggressive positive tennis, backing up the first serve with a huge shot, keeping Djokovic on the move and really moving in, attacking the ball, keeping the point short and not making any mistakes. I said in my preview I thought he needed to be aggressive from the off, come out and make a statement, and he'd done exactly that. He was 4-0 up in around 20 minutes. I said on Twitter the depth, the speed, the width that Rafa gets in his forehand from ball one is ridiculous. It doesn't take him time to settle in, it doesn't take him time to find the shot or find the angles. Just from ball one it looks like he's been playing for hours, and that is a special weapon that gives him that early advantage and early lead. Nadal, as I say, won all the big points. I don't think the 6-0 first set scoreline was reflective. It was 45 minutes, which was a lot longer than what you'd expect to be 6-love. Nadal's intensity just never dropped. His level never dropped. His aggression, machine-like in every game. And we know that Djokovic is a player that likes to have momentum, and Nadal just didn't let him get in. Even at 4-0, 5-0 when the set was over, Nadal was still relentless, still looking to win every point, still looking to close out every game, and just keep the train rolling, and he'd done exactly that. Djokovic couldn't get into the Rafa serves in every single service game. Djokovic was under pressure, largely down to his lack of first serve consistency, but Rafa just returned and was just aggressive on every shot and looked incredible from ball one, and Djokovic couldn't live with the level he was bringing. In set two, Djokovic tried to be more aggressive, but I don't think it particularly worked. The defence into attack from Nadal was on point, counter-punching perfectly. Djokovic was finding good forehands and backhands down the line, but Nadal just seemed to cover the court so well, was going cross court and finding winners from impossible positions, which was just making his performance and belief even higher, at an even higher level. Rafa did miss 3 break points in the opening game, and I thought this is a turning point. Is this when Djokovic can think, right, I've finally got some relief, I've got the lead in the second set, can I gain an early break that might turn the match around? But all day Rafa's weight of shot just seemed to get bigger and bigger. He was pushing Djokovic back, coming in and finishing the points. Djokovic did get closer, but couldn't quite get the break to kickstart his match, and just again he couldn't live with the level that Rafa was bringing when he was at his best. I can't remember Rafa making an unforced error in the first hour of the match, and Djokovic had to work so hard for every single point that he won. The Rafa forehand behind Djokovic was a key play. I did mention this in my preview that Tsitsipas used this tactic very well. Playing in behind Djokovic is a tactic that I think a lot of players can exploit. We know how good Djokovic is, and not only getting the ball back on the backhand side, but also counter punching for winners across court in the backhand. But playing behind him sort of negates that, and Rafa, he likes that forehand back behind his opponents, and he used that very well against Djokovic today a number of times. At this point, midway through the second set, I had no words that could do Rafa's performance justice at all. He was just playing that well. I've never seen tennis like that for a long, long time. And Djokovic actually hit a fair few winners in the second set, and with that did come a few unforced errors and double faults because the pressure was just on Djokovic to produce and take charge of the rallies early and create his own power and speed, which he is not at his best doing. And another point I made in the second set, I forgot how good Nadal's court coverage was, how well he uses the slice when he's in trouble to keep the ball low, give him time to read the next play, and with that he's also got the ability to hit winners from ridiculous positions. But I did actually forget how quick Rafa was around the court and how well he read other players on clay, how well he used the slice to get out of trouble, and it was jaw-dropping at times how well he got out of trouble and fought himself out of defensive positions. So he served out for set 2 for 6-2, and at that point I just thought unless Nadal's level drops significantly, it's impossible for Djokovic to turn this around. Djokovic wasn't playing badly in my opinion. Nadal was just on a complete another level, and he would have been to anybody else in the world on that court today. In set 3, Djokovic was better. He started making first serves, he was being aggressive, he eventually started hitting through Nadal's defence at times, and I think he threw caution to the wind. He knew it was either win or bust time really for Djokovic. He had to just go for it, look for the lines, and if it didn't work, it didn't work. The match was sort of on Rafa's racket after winning the second. Nadal held serve at the start of the third, just continuing to hammer the ball relentlessly on either side, mixed with his slice and court coverage. It was a winning formula all day. Djokovic was fighting hard. I always felt like he was hanging on in the match. It was a matter of time before Rafa really stepped on the gas again, up the level and finished the match. But Djokovic did play some outstanding tennis in set 3. I always just felt that Nadal was capable of that extra gear. Eventually Djokovic did get the break, and at that point, being a Djokovic fan and seeing some of the comebacks he's made over the years, I just thought he couldn't, could he, for one moment. He started to bat the first serves with deep, aggressive ground strokes, 4-3 lead in set 3, and you thought, if you can just catch a break and win this set, you never quite know, but it was, I think, more hopeful than expected. Djokovic was incredibly gutsy at the back end of set 3 at 4-4. Rafa created a break point. Djokovic fired in a huge second serve, his biggest of the match, backed it up with a winning backhand down the line, made 2 first serves, 2 winners to get to 5-4. At that point I just felt Djokovic was hanging in there very well, but the eventual break did come at 5-5. The pressure was on Djokovic, as I said, to create his own speed, to turn the match around, and he just made a couple of unforced errors at the worst times, finished on a double fault of 30-40, and Rafa served out 7-5 to claim his 13th French Open and 20th Grand Slams. And going back to my point at the start of the video, sometimes in sport you do just have to admit that you were second best, and we all know Rafa's an absolute genius. I knew that before this tournament. I've watched him many times dominate this tournament. I just didn't think the conditions were in Rafa's favour. I didn't think he had enough prep for this event and enough tests at the very top level. And I thought Djokovic has come to this match in fantastic form after looking unbeatable this year, with conditions slightly in his favour. But I hold my hands up, I was completely wrong. Nadal dominated him from ball one, fully deserved the title, fully deserved to win in 3 sets, and was just too good from start to finish, to perform to that level consistently for 2.5 hours or whatever it was. Against a perfect unbeatable year. Just all the respect to Rafa. And yeah, a special player to dominate on clay for 15 years and looked like he could do it for another 15. I expect Rafa to still be winning the French Open in 2050 after the way he played today. So just looking back at the tournament as a whole, there's been some fantastic matches. I think that Schwartzman team quarter-final was probably an all-time classic. 5 odd hours, 5-set thriller. Diego coming back from 2-1 down to win a 3-2. Tsitsipas has sort of came on the scene. We've known how good he is in 3-set matches, but never really made a huge mark at a Grand Slam. Apart from that Australian Open semi-final, it was nice to see him come on the scene at the French and produce the tennis that he did. He was stunningly good against Dimitrov and Rublev. Then we almost got that memorable comeback against Djokovic where he saved 11 break points in set 4 with just outrageous tennis to take it to a fifth before running out of steam, and Djokovic got over the line in that one eventually. But yeah, we've had some fantastic matches in a fantastic event, and Rafa reigns supreme again. Nobody can stop him, it seems. Every year we talk about, can Dominic Thiem stop Rafa this year? Will he get upset? Will Djokovic eventually beat Rafa at the French? And it just never seems to happen. Rafa, it doesn't matter what preparation he's got or what conditions, it just seems that he's just on another level to everybody else at the French Open, and fair play to him to keep reproducing that year upon year. And as I've said, he fully deserves all the plaudits. And yeah, didn't go the way I wanted it to, but as I've said a couple of times, sometimes you just have to admit you're second best, and that was the case today. But I thoroughly enjoyed covering the men's and women's French Open on my YouTube. The views have gone through the roof this week, done by far the best that I've ever done. So thanks to anybody who's tuned in for a video. Do subscribe. I will be covering more ATP, WTA events, Grand Slams, etc. in the future. Hopefully going through a few tournaments next year as well if we are allowed. But thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.